Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel for the last deck tech of the week, and you're probably wondering why Adeline of Resplendent Cathar's here today. I'm going to be honest. Innistrad Midnight Hunt came out, and I completely forgot about this legendary creature. I played it quite a bit on stream, and then I realised that I've never actually got round to doing a deck about it. So today I'm just being a little bit indulgent like I was a week ago on a Monday, and being a little bit indulgent and covering this one a day. So please bear with me if you're here for OTJ stuff. I'm running out of ideas at the moment, so I would ask you at the moment if you can think of any OTJ cards I haven't covered through the channel. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll get around to doing them as soon as I can do. But at the moment, I'm going to do Adeline today, and then no one suggests anything, we'll do some random stuff next week. So here we go. Now, I'm sure you all remember what Adeline does. Has vigilance, it's 2 white and 1, and has power equal to the amount of the creatures we control. And when we attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or planeswalker they control. So, it's fun. It's white token generation, which is, yeah, it does turn up on my stream quite often, to be fair. So this is probably going to be no big surprise what's coming today, but it's worth covering anyway, because one of the other things I was asked about was what was an easy monocoloured deck to start thinking about. So this is the easy one, literally, because I'm playing this on MTGO. The power level and the cards in it are a little bit more unexpected to what they would normally be if you're playing in paper, unless you're very rich or you've been very lucky with cards you've opened over time. But yeah, if you're playing on MTGO, this still works out quite nicely, apart from the ticket price, but some of it you can take out. Anyway, here we go. Creatures. Obviously Adeline, then we've got Luminarch Aspirant to chuck around some +1/+1 counters. Benelish Marshal to pump all our creatures up by +1/+1. Brimaz, King of Oris Olsocus. Probably just butchered that, sorry. When it attacks, you get a 1/1 cracked soldier creature token that's with vigilance into the battlefield attacking, and when you block, you get to do the same thing that's blocking the creature that the king is blocking. Lauren of the Third Path that takes out an artifact or enchantment and does a little bit of card draw for you and a friend. Siege Veteran gets to put the +1/+1 counters around, and whenever another non-token soldier you control dies, you get a 1/1 colourless soldier artifact token. Wojek Investigator comes in from MKM to do the whole, at the beginning of your upkeep, we get to investigate. For each opponent has more cards, investigate once for each opponent who has more cards in hand than you. So you may have 1 clue, 2 clues, no clues, maybe 3 clues if you had a bad turn. Apothecary White comes in as well from the clue deck. Whenever you attack, you create a food token, then you can tap it, sacrifice X untap foods, and get a 1/1 white human creature tokens. Yeah. Hopefully you get quite a few foods with this going on. Anyway, Benny Brax, Zoologist, Convoke. At the beginning of your end step, if you created a token this turn, draw a card. Ellen Harbury's Busybody comes in from Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate, if memory serves. Look at the top X cards, your library, where X is the number of tokens you created this turn. 1 in your hand, the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Rick, the Steadfast Leader, comes in as well from our wonderful Walking Dead set. I think I was meant to put the other one in, but I've put Rick in. There's a MTGO version of this card. Humans you control, you choose First Strike, Vigilance and Lifelink. Humans you control have each of those abilities, and as long as we've got 4 more humans in play, they get +2/+2. So yeah, makes sense. Heliod comes in. Creatures you control have vigilance. You can create some tokens when you've got some spare mana. Hero Bladehold does a battle cry. When it attacks, you get a couple of white soldier tokens that taps and attacking. Stack your triggers in the right order, everybody. I forget all the time, but if you get them in the right order, the soldiers you create get the +1/+0 as well. Mangara the Diplomat gives you ways of drawing cards when people attack you or do things. Mondrak Glory Dominus doubles up our tokens. Myriel Shield of Argive creates tokens and stops people casting things in our turn or activating enchantments and abilities of creatures and artifacts. And when it attacks, get X/1/1 colourless soldier artifact creature tokens, where X is the number of soldiers we control. We will hopefully control a few by the time we do this. Solemn's here just to go and get the card, go and get a library out of our Go and get a library out of our library. Go and get a land out of our library. And then when it dies, draw the card. Terrain, Champion of Freedom. End step, if we attack this turn, we get a 1/1 human soldier creature token. Useful. Boss's Chauffeur, one of the cards that comes in from the set whose name I completely forget at the moment. I can see the symbol, can't remember it. But anyway, it's a human, it's a creature elf citizen. When it enters the battlefield, when a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to 1 plus number of other creatures you control. And whenever another creature enters the battlefield as you control, you get to put another +1/+1 on it. And then when it dies, you get all these lovely creatures, green and white citizen creature tokens. Seems good to me. Captain of the Watch pumps all our soldiers up, gives them vigilance, then gives us 3 soldiers in the meantime itself. Evangel of Heliod just gives us a whole load of soldiers equal to our devotion to white, which should be quite high. Obviously, I want to make sure that we can get even more creature tokens or tokens into play. And Ojar Tak, Deepest Foundation, does this quite happily for us by tripling them. So between this and Mondrak, you're going to triple then double. So yeah, it's pretty good. So even 1 token would give you 6 with both of these in play. Just so we're clear. Be careful you don't crash MTGO though if you're playing it on here. And then for a bit of fun to finish the game off with, Moonshaker Cavalry, just to give everything flying and +X/+X, we might as well have the white crate hoof come in and try and do some work for us. Elspeth Tyrell gives us +2, gives us a life for each creature we control, or gives us -2 for 3 soldiers, and -5, destroy all other permanents except for lands and tokens. It's a nice way of keeping your token army in play, which you can then win with. Bear it in mind. And the other version of Elspeth, the Sun's Champion, to blow up everything with power 4 or more, or 3 white soldier creature tokens. Be careful doing the -3 if you've got anything that will be taken out. I'm looking at Adeline as I say this. Spells, new one from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, Final Showdown. I expect you'll be seeing a lot of this in Commander decks going forward as well as standard. A 6 mana instant speed Wrath of God, kind of. Or Day of Judgment, actually. Yeah, I'll cope with that, thank you. Or give me something indestructible could be really helpful. Path to Exile gives a bit of spot removal along with Fatal Absence. Grand Crescendo, just a nice instant speed way of spending all our mana if we need to, or making all our creatures indestructible just for 2 mana. Sounds good. Server Exhibition, I think is the only... yeah, one of the few token generating spells in the deck. I just like Server Exhibition, really. I just like the artwork, to be honest. Sevine's Reclamation, return target permanent card mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And if you flash this back for 5, you get to do it twice. That's pretty useful. Chroma's Will gives you another way of winning the game quickly. Wrath of God takes care of everything, along with Fell the Mighty. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. It's really good if you target a 1/1 with it, and that just blows up everything else. Be careful though. Make sure you aren't going to destroy too much of your board. Fumigate gives you a whole lot of life when you Wrath, and then Farewell is probably one of the most hated cards ever in Commander. I can't stand playing against it, but I love playing with it. So, you know, exiling everything will upset everybody at some stage, undoubtedly. We have a lot of artifacts in the deck, just for a change. One of the most expensive is Jeweled Lotus. This is what makes the deck very pricey dollars-wise and in MTGO terms. Drop it if you need to. Play something else, it's fine. Play another land. It's no problem. I play it because I like the idea of getting Adeline out on turn 1 if I can. So, hence why it's here. Soul Talisman also here, just because we don't really need that much coloured mana in this deck since we are there. But, you know, the colourless mana will help. Elixir of Immortality, shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Marble Diamond, Pearl Medallion give us our ramp. Howling Mine gives us some card draw. Halo Fountain, because I am determined to win the game at some stage by untapping 15 creatures and paying 5 mana. Sorry, it's just got to happen at some stage for me. Drop it if you don't want to keep doing the challenge. From Streets of New Capenna, I remember now. Horn of Gondor, enters the battlefield, we get a white soldier token, and then we can pay 3 and tap it and create X11 white human soldier creature tokens, where X is the number of humans we control. Yep, okay. Horn of Greed just replaces the cards, we play lands. Nyx Lotus just gives us a whole load of mana equal to our devotion, which will be to white, obviously. Thousand Moon Smithy, a card from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Enter the battlefield, we get a white gnomes artifact creature token with power and toughness equal to the number of artifacts and creatures we control. And at the beginning of our pre-combat main phase, you may tap 5 untapped artifacts and or creatures we control, and if we do, we transform the smithy into the Barracks of 1,000, which gives us a legendary artifact land, but it taps for 1 white. And whenever you cast an artifact or creature spell using mana produced by the barracks, create a white gnome soldier creature token with the same as the one it has when it comes into play, which is just lovely. I'm having a bit of fun with Coat of Arms. Drop it if you don't want to risk it. Throne of Eldraine, you choose white. You get to add 4 mana of this colour when you pay it. So basically Throne of Eldraine will cost you 1 in the deck. And then you can pay 3 mana to draw 2 cards at some stage. Chimil, the Inner Sun, appears as well because, hey, why not? We've got a lot of things that cost 5 or less, so we might as well have it in. And Portal to Phyrexia, just so we can have a little bit more board control and get things back from graveyards and our upkeeps. Enchantments, land tax come out, make it cheaper if you're playing this in real life, obviously. Flowering of the White Tree, I think, is a card that everyone should pick up from Lord of the Rings. For the legendary creatures, get +2/+1 and have Ward 1, and then basically acts as the ban card Crusade for all the other creatures. Folk Hero, whenever you cast a spell that shares a creature type with this creature, draw a card. That's the commander, so we have a lot of humans in the deck, so a little bit of card draw. Glorious Anthem pumps everything. Inspired Leader for a background when we've got Adeline in play, pumps all our creatures up by +2, all our token creatures I should say, by +2/+2. Spear of Heliod lets us pump all the creatures up anyway, and then destroy target creature that deals damage this turn. Great if you can do it on something a double strike. Let the first strike damage resolve, activate this so you don't take the double strike. Does annoy people. Yeah, Anointed Processions here. You will crash MTGO if you have this, the Ogre and Mondrak in play. I've done it too many times now, but in real life, not a problem, good fun. Court of Ardenvale lets you return something of mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to your hand each turn, and if you've managed to keep hold of the monarchy, you just get to put it in play instead, which is a lot better. Court of Grace gives you a spirit or an angel, depending on what's happening. Leyline and the Meek, you're hoping to have in your starting hands. You can pump all your tokens up there and then. Marshal's Anthem gives you a way of sinking all your mana into something later in the game to return things from the graveyard to the battlefield, especially when it's return up to X target creatures, not mana value, it's just X creatures. So even if you kick it once at 6 mana, it may return something really important to you from your graveyard to play for you. Cathar's Crusade, just to pump all our creatures up because, yeah, we're playing a mono white deck at the end of the day, have it here. And because the amount of tokens we're producing, we might as well try and turn them into angels as we can with Divine Visitation. Angels are probably better than soldiers, in most cases. Land-wise, really simple. Igiano Castle to give us some protection for our legendary creatures. Emeria, so once we hit the 7 planes, we can start returning things from our graveyard to the battlefield. Mikaroko, Centre for the Seas, a little bit of card draw. Minas Tirith, it gives us another way of card drawing as long as we've attacked with a couple of creatures this turn. Nykthos, Shrine to Nyx, it's a monocoloured deck at the end of the day, so might as well have it here. Reliquary Tower, Temple of the False God, and 27 planes. And that is it. As I say, a bit indulgent going back to Adeline from, well, quite a few years ago now, but I think it's worth doing. It's quite, if you're trying to build a deck to get the hang of all the triggers on MTGO, this isn't a bad one to try out. Again, it works really well in paper as well, so if you're trying to teach someone how to play Commander, maybe this is one of the decks you could turn to and look at. But for now, thank you for watching today's video. Depending how the streams go over the next couple of days, there may be a stream replay tomorrow. But if not, I'll be back next week for some more fun and games with Commander decks. But for now, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you can. And yeah, come and see me on Twitch. There's a link down below. But for now, take care and bye-bye.